The House will come to order. Today, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Peace Nelson, Bowden Fiston, Azaria Fiston from the UBU Early Learning Center from Aurora, Colorado.
I pledge allegiance to the state of America, to the republic that stands of a nation, reliable.
Justice for all.
Something for you. She's going to give you something.
Mr. Schiebel, please call the roll.
Representatives Armagost, Bacon, AML Bacon,
Excused.
Barone, Byrd, Representative Byrd,
Excused.
Basenecker, Bottoms, Bradfield, Representative Bradfield,
Excused.
Bradley, Brooks, Brown, Caldwell, Camacho, Carter, Clifford, Representative Clifford,
Excused.
DeGraff, Duran, English, Representative English,
Excused.
Espinoza, Rep. Espinoza,
Excused.
Foray, Froelich, Garcia, Garcia Sander, Gilchrist, Gonzalez, Hamrick, Hartsook, Jackson, Johnson, Joseph, Kelty, Leader, Lindsay, Linstead, Representative Linstead,
Excused.
just walked in. Luck, Lukens, Rep. Lukens,
Excused.
Mabry, Marshall, Martinez, Morrow, McCormick, Pascal, Phillips, Representative Phillips,
Excused.
Puglisi, Richardson, Ricks. I did too. Oh, right there. Rootnell, Ryden, Sirota, Smith, Soper, Representative Soper,
Excused.
Stewart K, Stewart R, Story,
Excused.
Sukla, Taggart, Titone, Valdez A, Velasco, Weinberg, Wilford, Winter, Woodrow, Woog, Zokai, and Madam Speaker.
With 60 present, 5 excused, we do have a quorum. Representative Foray.
Thank you, Madam Madam Speaker. I move the Journal of Wednesday, February 26, 2025 be approved as corrected by our wonderful Chief Clerk.
Members, you have heard the motion that the journal be approved as corrected by the Chief Clerk. All those in favor say aye. Those opposed, no. The ayes have it. The motion is approved. Members, we are moving into third reading. I will ask you to take your seats. Thank you, members. Please take your seats. We are proceeding to voting. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1043.
House Bill 1043 by Representatives Ricks and Bacon, also Senator Exum, concerning the protection of unit owners in relation to enforcement actions by unit owners associations.
Madam Majority Leader,
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1043 on third reading and final passage.
the motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1043 on third reading, final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Members, we will stand in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Representative Ricks. Assistant Majority Leader Bacon.
Apologies. Members, we would like to ask permission to, to present and have voted upon two
Assistant
amendments.
Majority Leader Bacon, my apologies. We are going to stand in a brief recess. The House will come back to order. Members, I will ask you to take your seats. We are on third reading. Thank you for your patience. The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1043. The machine is open. I will ask everyone to proceed with their vote. Please close the machine. With 38 aye, 24 no, and 3 excused, House Bill 1043 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1056.
House Bill 1056 by Representatives Lukens and Bacon, also Senators Roberts and Hinrichsen, concerning local government permitting of wireless telecommunications facilities.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1056 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1056 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Clifford, Joseph, Weinberg, and Wilford. Please close the machine. With 35 aye, 28 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1056 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to House Bill 1166.
House Bill 1166 by Representatives Frey and Weinberg, also Senators Kipp and Cutter, concerning reducing food waste.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1166 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1166 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 57 ayes, 6 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1166 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Mr. Schiebel, please read the title to Senate Bill 19.
Senate Bill 19 by Senators Rich and Snyder, also Representatives Marshall and Soper, concerning the modernization of the State Plane Coordinate System.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move Senate Bill 19 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 19 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 62 aye, 1 no, 2 excused, Senate Bill 19 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Members, we are on thirds. Let's keep our conversations to a minimum. Please close the machine. Mr. Shebel, please read the title to House Bill 1087.
House Bill 1087 by Representatives Armagauss and Byrd, also Senators Pelton R. and Michelson Janae, concerning confidentiality requirements for individuals providing mental health support.
Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move House Bill 1087 on third reading and final passage.
The motion before us is the adoption of House Bill 1087 on third reading and final passage. Mr. Shebel, please open the machine and members proceed to vote. Please close the machine. With 63 ayes, 0 no, and 2 excused, House Bill 1087 is adopted. Co-sponsors. Please close the machine. Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move to lay over House Bill 1151 until tomorrow.
House Bill 1151 will be laid over until tomorrow. Thank you, members. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I move the following bills be made special orders on February 27th, 2025 at 9:28 a.m. Senate Bill 38, House Bill 1060, House Bill 1172, Senate Bill 52, House Bill 1226, and House Bill 1228.
Seeing no objection, the bills listed by the Majority Leader will be made special orders on February 27th, 2025 at 9:28 a.m. Representative English. Members, you have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, Representative English will take the chair.
The committee will come to order. With your unanimous consent, the bills will be read by title unless there is a request for reading a bill at length. Committee reports are printed and in your bill folders. Floor amendments will be shown on the screen and on your iPads. Bills will be laid over upon motion of the majority leader. The court rule is relaxed. Mr. Shebo, can you please read the title of Senate Bill 25-038?
Senate Bill 38 by Senators Roberts and Catlin, also Representative McCluskey, concerning protection of the personal information of persons impacted by wildlife damage.
Madam Speaker,
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is an honor to serve with you.
and it's an honor to serve with you.
Thank you. I move Senate Bill 38.
To the bill.
Thank you. Members, in November of 2020, Proposition 114 narrowly passed with state support for the reintroduction of wolves. In the years since, Colorado Parks and Wildlife has helped lead a broad group of stakeholders to implement a reintroduction plan that is considerate of our agricultural community and the impacts that they are now facing. In 2023, we passed a compensation fund, a commitment to our agricultural
Madam
community.
Speaker, can you give me one moment? Members, can you please tone your conversations down? Thank you. Madam Speaker.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We passed legislation to provide a compensation fund for those ranchers that experienced depredation because of the wolf reintroduction. Those funds are now at the point of being dispersed. We had 26 livestock losses over this last year, 47 since 2021. In being able to provide that compensation to our ranchers who are losing livestock, we want to also provide a level of anonymity, confidentiality when they file those claims. Wolf reintroduction has been a highly popular issue in the press, an issue where people are curious to see a wolf themselves or curious about how the reintroduction plan is going. We want to protect our ranchers who are now filing claims for compensation by keeping their personal information private. We've worked closely with the Colorado Press Association and Broadcasters Association to make sure that we can still show transparency for the tax dollars that are being expended and provided to these ranchers for their losses, while maintaining the integrity of these ranching communities. I greatly appreciate your support of this bill, and I also want to thank my co-prime, Assistant Minority Leader Winter, for his support and partnership in helping bring this legislation forward.
Assistant Majority Leader Winters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'd like to thank my co-prime as well. This is a very important piece of legislation. Just so you all know, the data is going to be there. That was one question that we got in committee. Is this going to affect the data and how we look at who's getting this money, where the counties is getting this money? All that information is going to be there. This is just the anonymity of their names. And the issue that we're having is, we all know it, we're in a contentious time right now. And the state actually didn't let people know were they going to release the wolves last time because they wanted to protect those workers. Well, we think that the ranchers and the wool growers and all the livestock growers should have that same protection, because no rancher wants to wake up in the morning and have anybody protesting in his backyard. So this is very important for our ranchers, and it allows them to feel like they can safely make these claims without getting any political backlash either way. I urge an aye vote, and thank you.
Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and in the committee, and thank you, sponsors. In the committee, we heard from our ranching and farming communities the urgency of having this bill. We do want the data. This bill will allow for that data. But we heard about how we don't have all that data because our ranching community is scared to report these things happening because they're afraid that as soon as their information is out there, they're going to be targeted. We have already hurt our agriculture community enough with this wolf reintroduction, which was by the people. That's not being discussed in this bill. The question is, can we please do something for our ranchers to make them feel more secure in something they have no control over, Let's help them so that way we can keep our productions alive and give them that security that they need so we can get the data without hurting anybody's families or operations and having anybody doing any going on to private property when they should not. So I greatly urge a yes vote. Thank you, sponsors, for bringing this. In committee, we heard how this would actually help with more data collections once we have that security. So I urge a yes vote.
Representative Sokla.
Thank you, Madam Chair. This is a good bill. Vote yes. Sorry I took so long.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 2538? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 2538. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. Senate Bill 2538 passes. Mr. Shebo, please read the title of House Bill 251060.
House Bill 1060 by Representatives Soper and Clifford concerning the use of electronic fence detection systems.
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1060 and the Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Committee report.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So in the committee, we added a legislative declaration that fully stated why we need this particular definition of what an electric alarm fence is and what we're trying to do. So this bill was one that was considered by the Cell Phone Committee from the summer. It wasn't one of the three bills. However, that being said, I chose still to introduce it as one of my bills for the session because I see the importance of having a standard definition that this is an alarm, and it's designed to protect critical infrastructure and construction sites. Right now, we have a problem with copper theft all around our state. It's quite high. Probably in upwards of $1 million a week is being stolen around the state. And that's from power substations, from cell phone towers, and then you also have equipment that's being stolen or vandalized from construction sites. This would empower the owners of those properties to be able to have an alarm system to stop theft before it happens. And thereby we aren't putting more people in jail. We're frustrating the thief before they actually act or the vandal before they act. That's something we've talked about a lot. We don't want to see more people in jail. We don't want to really add more to our crime laws, and that's what this bill does. It has a standardized definition, and then it allows local governments to regulate as such. The other amendments that we added were really clarifying amendments to make sure that it's explicitly clear that local governments can regulate and they can permit these alarm systems. And that was the amendment that we added in committee, and I'd ask for a yes vote.
Representative Clifford.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It is a pleasure to serve with you.
And it is a pleasure to serve with you.
This has been one of my most fascinating bills of the session. I got on this bill because of my experience in the alarm industry. I grew up in this business. The technology that this alarm detection system uses goes all the way back to the telegraph days. The way that this thing works is it's basically a set of wires that's connected to a battery and a capacitor, and it's old school. It's literally the way that we used to send an alarm signal back when ADT still stood for American District Telegraph. So that's kind of why I got involved in it. And the first draft of this bill that I took a look at, we literally took everything out of it, and I thought that I was doing good work for the citizens of the state of Colorado and the cities by saying may in this bill. I have had very few people that have come to talk to me about it. I've had a lot of people talk at me about it. And it's been a fascinating endeavor with this particular thing. So I want everybody to know that if you look on the website of the company that sells these things look like Jurassic Park. And they intend for them to do that. They want them to do that. They want to keep people out of cellular towers. They want to keep people out of industrial complexes. They want to keep people out of places where people should not be. These devices go inside of a fence. There is nothing in this bill that says that a municipality or a county cannot adopt a beautification ordinance, that they can't set standards for fencing, that they can't set fence heights, that they can't do anything at all related to a fence. Why I care about this bill is because this device gets treated like a fence in one jurisdiction. It gets treated like an industrial device in another jurisdiction. It gets treated like another thing in another jurisdiction when the International Electrical Code says this is an alarm system, and it's the kind of alarm system that goes all the way back to the 1800s. It works in all weather conditions. It works in a variety of different places where we can't use camera systems or where we can't use infrared beams, where snow would cause a problem. This thing works on top of a mountain with a solar panel connected to a battery outside of critical infrastructure systems. These are important. They are the basics of the basics, but they are part of an alarm system. They do not electrocute you. There's part of this thing where it's called electric fence. I want you to know that if you touch this
Representative
thing...
Clifford, give me 1 second. Members, can we tone it down a little bit so we can hear? Thank you. Representative Clifford.
If you touch this, everybody hear me now? I'll get closer to the mic. If you touch this, it's like touching someone who just dragged their socked feet across the carpet here and shocked you. It delivers an alarm signal. This is not something that's like keeping cattle in. This is not an electric fence. So I urge a yes vote on this bill today. I appreciate your consideration. If you've got questions about it, continue to ask. Thank you.
We're still to the committee.
Oh, to the committee report. Yeah.
You just need a vote on it.
Is there any further discussion on the committee report? No, I guess it's not. So, members, the question before us is the adoption of the Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Report. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay.
That's
The Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Report is passed. To the bill. Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Since the committee report actually made substantial changes to the bill, and we've basically just been talking about the bill, I think perhaps the entire chamber has a pretty good idea of what the bill does. It's an alarm system that's behind a fence. You first would have to get past the fence, and then the alarm system would be triggered. It helps discourage theft and vandalism. It ensures we're not sending more people to jail. We're not prosecuting more people. We're empowering landowners to be able to protect their property. This should be a good win from both sides of the aisle's perspective. Thank you.
Representative Wu.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I think some of my caucus members want to know it. This was a difficult one for me, but simply I was a no vote in committee because it is state over local control. My municipalities were not for this bill, so just want to let you know that. Thank you.
Representative DeGraff.
And perhaps I missed it. I was trying to listen to the where you're going, but why does this need to be regulated in the first place? Why do we need an additional permitting if it's just the owners putting something in their fence to detect a break somewhere around the fence? It's just, you know, it's just a monitoring system. Why do counties need to get involved in regulating or allowing it or disallowing it?
Representative Soper.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you, Representative DeGraff. That's a great question. The reason why we need this bill is it creates a standard definition. So right now, particularly, say, in the Denver metro area, you could actually have property that's straddling two different jurisdictions, and it's important to have the same definition of what we're talking about. You could also, as a company, be weaving in and out of the different jurisdictions within, say, the metropolitan area. And on one side, you're under the fence code. On another side, you're under the alarm code. Then you have to jump over to the electric code for someone else. Then for the next jurisdiction, they're regulating it on industrial devices. This just puts a standard definition in place so that we can agree on what this thing is, and then we empower local governments to regulate and permit as they see fit. And if a county chooses not to, that's their prerogative, but we want to encourage them to really take control after we're able to define that this is an alarm system.
Representative Clifford.
And to directly answer your question, Rep, is municipalities and counties determine what they need to regulate. This bill does not impact that.
Representative Tatone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Yeah, I have no problem with this bill. These are not Jurassic Park electric fences. You're not going to, touch it and fly off 20 feet. This is just like any kind of static discharge type of thing, and it's behind a fence. These are not going to be everywhere, and actually, the fence itself is just a thin wire, so you're hardly even going to see that the fence is even there. So I don't understand what the big concern about these fences are, because they're used to deter theft, and sometimes cameras just don't cut it. This is a foolproof thing. If you touch it, it triggers the alarm. It's a lot better than a camera because a camera can be blocked, camera can be obscured. You can shoot out a camera, to egg the camera, whatever, if you want to get into someplace. This is going to be something that's a foolproof method, and I support this bill.
Is there any further discussion? Sorry, I'm getting tongue-tied here. For House Bill 251060, seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 251060 as amended. All those in favor, aye. Aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 251060 passes. Mr. Shebel, please read the title of House Bill 251172.
House Bill 1172 by Representatives Camacho and Espinoza, also Senators Amable and Michelson-Janae, concerning allowing a state-owned psychiatric residential treatment facility to use a secure perimeter fence.
Representative Camacho.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 1172 to third reading and final passage. Second reading and second reading.
To the bill. Representative Espinoza.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Notwithstanding my co-prime's attempt to skip a process, let me just say briefly, this bill is narrowly tailored to one facility at this time being built it's currently being built at Fort Logan. But it's to address a concern for children who are in acute trauma and need to have psychiatric services, and part of that trauma has often been that they run away. What this bill does is allow the facility to secure the perimeter of the facility to ensure that those children remain safe while they're undergoing the psychiatric treatment. While the bill does not specify that it would apply to any other facilities, the reality is we have one state-funded facility that can and will be built under this legislation, and it is a test to see if this will actually help and whether we would eventually look at expanding it to private facilities. But our bill is narrowly tailored to only apply to this one state facility, and we ask for an aye vote.
Representative Camacho.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thanks to my co-prime for providing the context of this. And I'd like to just add on, this new facility that is being built will provide 16 psychiatric care beds for our youth that need the highest level of care. Currently, if you need the highest level of care and need to be in a facility like this, the state does not have resources here to provide for those children, and we have to send them to other states to receive care that they should rightfully have here so they can be close to their family, their support networks. This is a resoundingly good bill. And I would like to mention that in committee, it was unanimous support for this bill, including bipartisan support from my friends on the other side of the aisle. So I enthusiastically request an aye vote in favor of House Bill 1172.
Representative DeGraff.
Thank you, Madam Chair. My question, I just have a question, since I was not in committee, or at least I don't recall being in committee for this one. So we'll see. And I was not Rep Bottoms that day. So why do we need this? I mean, this seems like it's pretty obvious that we should have that a facility would be able to provide the security that they need, especially for distressed individuals. But what happened to the law is there some sort of law that's in place that's precluding building a fence right now?
Representative Camacho.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you for the question from my colleague from the other side of the aisle. Yes, this is needed. In state statute, currently, we cannot secure the perimeter of these facilities. There are two facilities in the state, one which will be state-owned, the other which is not, and it does not have a secured fence, but it is in a location where if there is an elopement, which is when a youth leaves these facilities, their health outcome, while it reduces greatly, is not as impacted as if that same youth has an elopement in West Metro Denver, which is the difference between why this is necessary now.
Representative Espinoza.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In addition, Representative Graff, the other reason we need this bill is because we want to make clear that we are not creating a detention or criminal punishment facility by virtue of securing this fence. Any securing of a youth could be deemed that way, and we're specifically redefining and ensuring that they are not going to be treated as if they are criminals because they need psychiatric help.
Representative DeGraff.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that clarification. Sometimes fences are definitely used to protect the people inside. So I think I could probably get behind that.
Representative Bradley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It's an honor to serve with you.
It's an honor to serve with you.
I heard this in committee, and it came out unanimously. These kids are high acuity kids, and instead of doing what we've been doing, which has been shipping these children to other states away from their families and their parents to get treatment, we are now going to have facilities in the state of Colorado, thankfully, to some bills we passed last year, and to finish the magical touches on keeping kids with their families and keeping them safe and having treatment in this state. We are going to put fencing around these buildings so that we keep these children safe and in an enclosed area so they don't run into the streets. And I urge my caucus to support this bill and urge an aye vote on this important legislation. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 251172? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 251172. All those in favor, aye. All those opposed, no. The ayes have it. House Bill 251172 is adopted. Mr. Sheba, please read the title of Senate Bill 25052.
Senate Bill 52 by Senators Winterreff and Hendrickson, also Representatives Valdez and Lindsay, concerning the confidentiality of information related to the regulation of railroad operations.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move Senate Bill 25052.
To the bill.
This bill is pretty simple, folks. It just creates some transparency when there are railroad accidents involving civilians. When a train that's running light rail or whatever has an accident, this just allows other people to learn from that, allows us as the public to make sure we hold our transit agencies accountable to be operating as safe as they can, and we would ask for an aye vote.
Representative Lindsay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As many of you know, I represent Aurora, Colorado. We have a light rail train that runs through there. We have had two really bad accidents, 2019 and 2022, involving our light rail on the same stretch of the track. And when this happened, there was a lot of frustration in my community about figuring out what happened. Right now, currently, these reports through statute are to remain confidential. We need to be able to see what happened so that we can change things, obviously, improve safety, and make sure that no one else gets hurt. So this is an important bill, very simple, about transparency, and we urge an aye vote.
Is there any further discussion? Representative Richardson.
I sit on the Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Committee. There were several of us that voted no against this when it was presented. We had a few questions. One has been answered. The other is still kind of lingering out there. So just for information, as it was mentioned, there have been several light rail passenger accidents. We would question how this would affect freight reporting, because initially we had talked about the derailment in Pueblo.
1 second, Representative Richardson. Members, can we please tone it down? Thank you.
Yeah. So though we had talked about the derailment in Pueblo initially, this bill doesn't involve reporting of freight accidents, but still open at this time was many years back the legislature put this confidentiality in place, and we're still looking for the reasons why that was done. Understand the reasons we want to remove it. Transparency is good, but I think it would be good to know why the legislature made these confidential in the first place.
Is there any further discussion on Senate Bill 2552? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of Senate Bill 52. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. House Senate Bill 2552 is adopted. Mr. Sheba, please read the title of House Bill 251226.
House Bill 1226 by Representative Johnson, also Senator Bright, concerning tasking the statewide Healthcare Review Committee with studying healthcare billing practices during the 2025 interim.
Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 25-1226 committee report as amended.
To the committee report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. In the committee, we discussed how there is, across the state, a need for patients to have accountability in the time frame in which they're receiving health care billing. I would like to point out that the amendment that was offered in the committee was to move from the 4-meeting request to a 2-meeting request, which puts the fiscal note to a 0. This bill, Healthcare Review Interim Committee Billing Study, does not create a new interim committee. It's already using an interim committee that's in rule, meaning it's already been accounted for, it's already there, it's a 0 fiscal note, and it is just saying that in this bill, we would love to see it on the agenda in a public forum, that we are going to be looking at the healthcare billing timelines, so we can go back to our constituents around the state. I don't know about everyone else. I know not just in my district, but as traveling, I've heard stories of people getting bills 2 to 3 years later, 6 years later, 10 years later, 14 years later, and there is a gap in the healthcare billing timeline. Why is this happening? We are asking patients to have to put their trust into this billing institution, and there is a lack of accountability. This bill will address the delayed medical billing, and we will bring all of the stakeholders to an open forum. They have that invite. They have the invite to come to the table and look at this together. So we're doing right by the constituents, the people, the patients. They're all the same here in Colorado. This will allow for more transparency for patients as we devolve into why is this happening? What specific factors contribute to billing delays in Colorado? How do billing practices vary between hospitals, clinics, insurers? What are the potential unintended consequences of government intervention in billing timelines? All of this can then be in a transparent public process discussed. This bill, again, is not creating a new interim study, not creating a new interim committee. There's one in rules already existent. 0 fiscal note. It is asking our fellow colleagues on this committee of 9 members to please officially put it on the agenda, so we are telling Coloradans that we understand that it's not okay for them to be having these delayed billings, and let's come together to figure out why.
Representative Pascal.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I am jumping on this bill in support with Rep. Johnson. And just to be clear, I'm jumping on to support, but she's done all the legwork. I don't want to be taking credit. But I think this is a very important bill that speaks to consumer protection in medical billing. She spoke to the timeliness factor, which is the main focus of this bill. But we also, I think, have issues in transparency and just plain understandability. And as someone who was once hit by a car as a pedestrian, I could go on for hours about all the nightmares with billing that I went through, but I won't do that because you don't need to hear that right now. But I think this bill is an excellent first step in looking at the issue of medical billing. And it's a good first step because it seeks to collect data. And what we want to do is have policy that is based on data. And as Rep. Johnson said, there is no fiscal note. This is a good bill. Vote yes.
Members, the question before us is the adoption of the Health and Human Services Committee report. All in favor say aye. Aye. All opposed, no. The Health and Human Services Committee report is adopted. To the bill. Representative Johnson.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I strongly urge a yes vote on this bill. Let's put this officially on the agenda so that way our colleagues, we can do this in an open, transparent process. We've heard it so many times. We are pushing things through this building way too fast. This is a way to slow that down, look at what's going on, address the issues, talk with our constituents, people across the state, and move forward on as we work together on solutions.
Representative Pascal.
I think this is an excellent first step in consumer protection. Good bill. Vote yes.
Representative Weinberg.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a question to the bill sponsor. I'm just a little confused. is this a bill to put it on the agenda? Why didn't we just put it on the agenda? Why do we need a bill?
Representative Johnson.
Fantastic question. It has been asked. As we address so many things here in this statewide healthcare review, I just want to make sure that as we're looking at all these important issues, this is officially on the agenda. We are telling Coloradans we see an issue and we're going to come together to address it. We do so much messaging under the state. Let's do a messaging that gives comfort to our people and make sure that it doesn't slip under the cracks as we move forward with the next half of session, as we move forward through interim, and then we say, oh my goodness, we forgot this. Let's make sure we're just saying it's on the agenda.
There any further discussion on House Bill 251226? Seeing none, the question before us is the adoption of House Bill 251226 as amended. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 251226 as amended is adopted. Mr. Sheba, please read the title of House Bill 251228.
House Bill 1228 by Representative Barone concerning the sustainability of state transportation infrastructure.
I'm good with it, yeah.
Representative Barone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I move House Bill 251228 and the Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Report.
To the committee report.
Thank you. In this committee, we spoke about the best value design build transportation contracts. As a longtime resident of Fort Lupton, I have witnessed firsthand the critical importance of durable and sustainable infrastructure in supporting our communities and economy. 1228 refines how we evaluate proposals for transportation projects under the Department of Transportation. It's not just about cutting upfront costs, it's about building smarter, stronger, and more sustainable infrastructure. The amendments we worked on into this bill have sharpened the focus, emphasizing resiliency, clarifying language for precision, and laying out a clear set of evaluation factors. These include everything from project schedules to innovative solutions to aesthetics, environmental impact, and long-term life cycle cost. And I'd like to also thank Representative Lindsay here. She wanted to jump on this bill with me.
One moment, Representative Barone. Members, can we please tone it down and close the back door? It's loud. Thank you.
I'd like to thank Representative Lindsay here that wanted to jump on this bill. It's a great bill. It's going to focus more on bridge work at this moment. It's just to make it better so we can make these bridges longer lasting, which will in turn cut down construction time and in turn also cut down time that cars are on the road during traffic jams. So I'd like to hand it over to my co-prime here, Representative Lindsay. She wants to say some words.
Representative Lindsay.
Oh, okay. No, never mind.
Okay. The
good.
question before us is the adoption of the Health and Human Services Committee report. I'm sorry. I'm up on the other one. I stand corrected. The question before us is the adoption of the Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Committee report. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. The Transportation, Housing, and Local Government Committee report is adopted. To the bill. Representative Lindsay.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Representative Barone stated, I jumped on this bill with him as it was heading to committee and doing prep and reading the bill. I was like, oh, I like this, I like this, I like this. This makes sense to me, so thank you for allowing me to join you. This bill, I think, considers cost being outside of just money. It's like, what is the long-term cost of this for sustainability, but also for the community, and making sure that the decisions that we're making with CDOT they take into consideration kind of a full menu of factors that this implementable, like this bridge or whatever, will have on the community. And so I'm really excited about it, and I urge an aye vote.
Representative Barone.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Also urge an aye vote for this bill. It's a great bill. Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on House Bill 251228? Seeing none, the question before us is adoption of House Bill 251228 as amended. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed, no. House Bill 251228 is adopted. Majority Leader Duran.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I move the committee rise and report.
You have heard the motion. Seeing no objection, the committee will rise and report.
The House will come back to order. Mr. Schiebel, please read the report of the Committee of the Whole.
Madam Speaker, your Committee of the Whole begs leave to report as under consideration the following attached bills, being the second reading thereof and making the following recommendations thereon. House Bills 1060 as amended, 1172, 1226 as amended, and 1228 as amended, passed on second reading, order engrossed and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage. Senate Bills 38 and 52 passed on second reading, order revised and placed on the calendar for third reading and final passage.
Representative English. Members, you have heard the motion. There are no amendments at the desk. Mr. Schiebel, please open the machine. Members, we are still voting. Garcia Sander. Basenecker. Soper. Basenecker is excused. Please close the machine. With 40 aye, 22 no, and 3 excused, the report of the Committee of the Whole is adopted. Announcements and introductions. I so appreciate everyone signing up today. I will start. Representative R. Stewart will replace Representative Story on the House Education Committee for today only. Representative Armagost, you're up first.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. So I get the honor and privilege today to introduce and recognize somebody from the district of my colleague here as far as police chief of Severance, and then he is a constituent of mine in Meade, but wanted to recognize Severance Police Chief Kevin Chavez.
Keith.
Keith Chavez.
Kevin.
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 Yeah.
Sorry, Kevin.
What?
Sorry. Ken.
We got it on there. So, this gentleman has served 45 years now in law enforcement, and in that time has also served 36 years and retired a colonel in the National Guard. His whole career in the National Guard, he was with the Special Forces Group here in Colorado, and has been all around with the Denver Police Department and Severance Police Department, served in the SWAT unit. He's had a very luxurious career in law enforcement, very highly decorated in that, and as retiring in a colonel in the National Guard. So very highly decorated veteran and law enforcement professional from our communities. So I just want to hand it over to my colleague here and her knowledge of the gentleman we're recognizing, and then we can give him some recognition today.
Representative Garcia Sander.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I, too, stand in recognition of Severance Police Chief Ken Chavez. He's been a wonderful addition to our community. He joined the Severance Police Department as an interim a couple of years ago and was installed as our chief not too long ago. And he opened up a debt-free new police department. It's phenomenal. If you'd like to tour it, it's state-of-the-art for a small town. He's really got it going on. So in recognition of Police Chief Ken Chavez, thank you for your many, many years of dedication to safety in Colorado. 45 years in law enforcement is a good run. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, members. Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And members, today is one of my favorite days. It is Flow Crit Day at the Capitol. Along the wall here, we have a bunch of wonderful ladies who are teen moms who go to Flow Crit, which, if you don't know, is a wraparound services, multi-generational school here in my district, and it is an amazing place. These women are going places. They will be downstairs in room 107 from 12 to 1, so come and say hi to them, and they do like to talk about policy. Please stand up and be welcome.
Representative Valdez.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. And on a not-so-fun note, we have Energy and Environment today at 1:30, and we have quite a schedule. We're going to do 10:42, 11:18, 11:65, and 11:19 in the order on your calendar. See you there, 1:30 p.m.
Thank you. Representative Wilford.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The State Civic, Military, and Veterans Affairs Committee will meet 7 minutes upon adjournment to hear one bill across the street, House Bill 1244. Don't be late.
Thank you. Representative Sirota.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Members, House Appropriations is going to meet tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. in the Old State Library to hear House Bills 1115, 1132, 1014, 1116, 1011, and as committee of reference for bills 1125 and 1216.
Thank you. Representative Lukens.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The House Education Committee will be meeting at 1:30 today in room 107. We will be hearing House Bill 1218 and 1248.
Representative Ricks.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today, House Business Affairs and Labor will meet at 1:30. We're going to hear two bills, HB 1055 and 1179. See you at 1:30.
Thank you. Minority Leader Puglisi. And Representative Bradfield.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have two announcements. First, we have Representative Bradfield and I have constituents from Colorado Springs who came together today to spend the day with us. We just want to welcome them to your capital and really appreciate you making the trip to spend the day. So if you could please stand. Thank you so much for being with us today. And my second announcement is that NAIFA Colorado and ACLI, which is the Colorado chapter of the National Association of Insurance and Financial Advisors and the American Council of Life Insurers, are here today. They were with us earlier. I don't know if they are still here, but they are in the building. And they provide good jobs and long-term investment that spurs economic growth in our state. We hope that you will come and visit with them today about their issues. And if you would just welcome them into the Capitol today, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Representative Carter. Representative Soper and Representative Carter. Who's first?
Thank you. Thank you.
Representative Carter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I have a couple of guests here. One of them that I actually share with Representative Soper. I think some of you know that I am still a member of the Aurora Public School Board, and I explained to you on several occasions that there are only 4 black men, now 5 black men in the state of Colorado that actually serve on school boards. One of them is here, Big Will Jones.
Thank you, Madam Speaker, and it's great to have Will join us in the House today. I just want to remind members, it's 4 hours to go from Grand Junction to Denver, and we've changed the road. It's also 4 hours from Denver to Grand Junction. Thank you, Will.
Representative Carter.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I also want to shout out some of my teachers from my school district, from Aurora Education Association. We've got Harmony Ridge, we got Side Creek. What am I missing? William Smith. Some of the teachers from Aurora Public Schools. I still got one more. I also have, as part of another group, Dr. Joyce Brooks, a member, past president of Black Parent United, and a member of La Una is here as well.
Representative English. Oh, Representative Carter.
I apologize. Thank you again, Madam Speaker. I have been approved to be excused for tomorrow.
So approved. Thank you. Representative English.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Today is CASB Legislative Day, and I would like for you all to join me. Before I came to the House, I served on the Board of Education for Harrison School District 2, and we have my school board, Harrison School District 2, along with students and educators in the gallery. Please stand. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative Lindstedt.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. House Finance Committee will be meeting today on adjournment to hear House Bill 1020, 1224, 1121, and 1127.
Thank you. Madam Majority Leader.
Madam Speaker, I have a couple of announcements. One is
Member,
tomorrow.
please listen up. Please proceed.
Thank you. Tomorrow, Friday, February 28th, from 8 to 9 a.m., Chief Economist Greg Sebeski will be leading a training session for all members of the legislative community on the economic and revenue forecast. As the presentation of the March forecast nears, please consider taking time to learn more about the factors that contribute to the forecast and its role in the state's budget process. The training is tomorrow from 8 to 9 a.m. in House Committee Room 112, or you may join virtually. And with that, Madam Speaker, I move to lay over the balance of the calendar to Friday, February 28th, 2025.
The balance of the calendar will be laid over until tomorrow. One more motion, Madam Majority Leader.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. I move the House stand in recess until later today.
The House will stand in recess until later today.